Hello there, everybody. It's me, Garrett Kidney, the co-host of You've Got to Be Kidding Me on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network.
And I am Liam Jones, my full name, and I'm also a part of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network as a co-host for You've Got to Be Kidding Me.
We are a TNA history podcast that covers TNA 1 month at a time. We cover all the drama, all the matches, all the Vince Russo nonsense you could ever want in your life.
Have you heard of TNA? I bet you have, but would it be funnier if two people made jokes over it the whole time? Probably.
So if that sounds like fun to you, check it out on this very Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network, and Liam will do bits and whatnot.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Super J Cast. I'm Joel, joined by Damon McDonald. It's Thursday the 2nd of November 2023. This is episode 279. It's the Halloween Spooktacular, Damon. Woo! What's the scariest thing?
My life. I don't know. I don't know. What's the scariest thing?
My wife, when she enters the room in about 10 minutes and realizes I've started the podcast without putting the children to bed. That's pretty scary, Damon.
It's a little frightening. But it always makes for fun, right? It always makes for a good show. Always makes for a couple of laughs to have real life kick in. Yep. Awesome. I hate
Halloween activities.
No, I hate Halloween.
Good man.
Well, here's again, this kind of goes back to, for those people, long-time listeners that are in on the bit, I don't like people knocking on the door. I don't like it at all. And I am just in no mood for it right now. And so there were times where, like, so Halloween, the actual trick-or-treating kicked off like around 3 in the afternoon, I guess. And then I did it for a little bit. And then Cheryl came home. And there were times where people were just knocking on the door and I was just sitting on the couch. I didn't get up. I was like, I don't care anymore. I don't fucking care.
Do you have decorations in the front of your house?
Oh, God, yes. Okay. The sad part about it is that this is like Cheryl's wheelhouse. Like, she is obsessed with all these different decorations and all these little knick-knacky things. Like, that's her jam. So it kind of sucks that I'm like, I don't care either way. Like, I don't like actively be like, no, you can't fucking put this. No, knock yourself out. If that's what makes you happy, do it. But to me, it does absolutely fucking nothing. It annoys me to no end. And I sound like the biggest fucking grouch, but it's just, I don't know. I'm surprised it's still a thing, to be honest with you. I'm surprised it's still a thing that in this day and age, one day a year, kids will just randomly knock on doors, stick out their bags or their sacks or whatever they have, and then I got to give them something candy. Like just on the surface, it sounds bizarre, but it's been around for a long time, hasn't it? They should probably get over it by now. It happens every year. It doesn't change. How about you? Do you guys celebrate any differently? Do you guys go out and door to door, or do you do like the what's the thing now? See, I like the thing now where it's like they all go to a parking lot, and it's like they go to car. Are you familiar with the trunk? I think it's called trunk or treat. Is that what I'm thinking of?
I've not heard that before. That's interesting.
Yes. So they go to like a big lot at a school or what have you, and everybody will park, pop open the trunks and all, obviously, and then away we go. They kind of monopolize that lot, and they go, it seems like a little safer, seems like a little bit more controlled. But no, I don't understand the old door-to-door thing. I'm not a big fan. So I'm sorry, I cut you off. Please, go on.
No, well, we don't really live in an area that's conducive to trick-or-treating. Like, we live.
Can I come there? Can I live there, please?
Yes.
Can I move in? I don't have any money, but I can't pay rent
at home. You saw? Did you see my Cato lantern?
No, I don't. I
carved a pumpkin. We went to the pumpkin farm. Let me find it.
Okay.
I can't find it.
Okay. All right.
Okay, let me have a look for it. But basically, we went. We did the pumpkin picking thing.
That's adorable, though. Yes.
I'm going to send you a picture now.
Right. Yes, honey. Please send it to me via the internet. Oh, there it is. Oh my God, that's pretty good, dude.
Pretty good, isn't it?
It is good.
First attempt.
I mean, yes, it's legit
quite
cat-like.
Scooping out the middle of it is quite difficult, but luckily, years and years of heavy masturbation has given me the manual dexterity required for scooping the inside out of a pumpkin. So there's no bother.
Really? Well, I'm glad it finally paid off. Yeah, it looks. I mean, that's not bad. I like the little ears that you got in there. The whiskers. You did a good job on this one. This is good. I think you have a future. See, if you have kids, I think it's a different story too, because the kids, they just they get to dress up and they get to be kids and have, if you have any type of imagination, that's the day to let it fly. And I mean, to me, that's awesome. And the pumpkin picking and all that. Yes, of course. Yep. You did it right. You did it right.
Yeah, we just had a little party at home. Mally cooked up some party food and stuff for the kids. She got bell peppers and carved little faces in them to make mini jack-o'-lanterns, and then put what do you call it? Meat sauce, you call it in America.
Sure.
Inside them. So that was good. Yeah, it was fun. We just
did
it for
guys.
Kids, invited our neighbours round. Not something I would normally do, but yeah, like you said, when you've got little ones, you have to try and make some nice memories for them. I'm not into the idea of trick-or-treating. We don't get trick-or-treaters coming around because, we live in the middle of nowhere, which was good. But that's worked out well. We've had a storm today. I got the day off work because
I heard
not to
it's
be
pretty
confused with the Clout Demon Kieran, but Storm Kieran came round and I got the day off school for it, which was nice.
Yes. I did hear of that, and correct me if I'm wrong, 80-mile-an-hour winds, 90-mile-an-hour winds, like fucking hurricane shit you got going on.
I saw very little of that. It was pretty mild, actually. I mean, bear in mind, back in 2016, I lived through a full-blown typhoon when I was living in China. So, yeah, this is just a bit of rain.
Okay.
Esther's asking to open the door. Hold on a second.
Go ahead.
Right back.
Yeah, please, by all means. My lord. Let the star in. Let the star shine.
All right, she's here. She's brought the cat in. We're all good.
All right.
Full option here. Hi, Esther. Come and say hello to the listeners. Say hello, freaks.
Hello, freaks.
Hello.
Nice Halloween, Esther.
Yeah.
What did we do at Halloween?
We made some ghosts. Some ghosts. Some ghosts.
We made some ghosts.
Ghosts. I love it. I can't believe she talks so much now. It's just amazing to me how kids grow. So fucking awesome. All right. Well, good. She's not listening to me, is she?
No, I've got
headphones on. Okay, good.
We're going to ride out the chaos of bedtime, but let me watch the shit going on in the background. Got a question here from Matthew, who says, have either of you messed around with non-alcoholic beer? I found a couple of 0.5% IPAs I really like, and it's helped me cut back, especially at home, for health wallet reasons.
Yes, I have. Good job. Excellent work. Yeah, I have actually. I actually haven't been drinking a ton, just period in general. But yeah, I mean, there are a couple IP. I think one brewery is called Athletic. Is like, I mean, legitimately, it gives you the it helps tremendously. It gives you the taste and the feel, and it pours. It's a beer, but there's no alcohol in it. So yes, I am familiar with them, and I have explored. You know who makes a good one? Well, two people. Sam Adams here in the States makes a good one. Guinness makes a passable non-alcoholic version of their beer. It's again, it's not 100%, and I'm not here to offend Guinness drinkers because trust me, I've had more than a few pints myself. But it's really close.
Well, while we're talking about our favorite non-alcoholic drinks, do you want to know what mine is, Damon?
I do. Yes, I'm very excited.
It's ready? Yeah. It's Magic Mind, who have designed the world's first productivity drink. A science-backed blend of matcha, nootropics, and adaptogens work together to get you faster into flow state. No anxiety, no jits, just focus on productivity.
So what you're saying is Ritalin.
So we've started to get these unsolicited offers of product placement.
Yeah,
people who clearly never listen to that. I've got another one. Did we
get another one?
The other one?
No, I don't even know of that one.
Okay, let me read this.
Please, by all means.
Okay, hold on a sec. Okay, here. Damon McDonald and Super Joelcast.
Yes.
Hey, I'm Rich Kagan, and I've been in the media business for 30 plus years.
Oh.
I'm writing to you because I would love to be considered as a guest on Super Jcast. You've got a phenomenal podcast.
Yeah.
Would this be of value to you and your audience?
What's that?
Here's a quick little bio about me.
Okay.
1, I've been stirring the media pot for 30 years. So long, I can't believe it's not burnt. 2, I've done a gig as the VP of Sales at CBS Radio and TV in LA, and even birthed the Howard Stern ad networks, all before Howard made his big move to Sirius XM Radio. Tons of wild stories here. 3, I ran my own show at Wingman Media, was the CCO, a direct response agency. My mission, getting my clients rock bottom cost per acquisition rates. Right now, Damon, this is ticking all the boxes for a podcast about New Japan Pro Wrestling, I'm sure.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
4, I love traveling, eating, golfing, skiing, surfing, and playing the blues on harmonica. I've got 3 kids under 13, and I live in Manhattan Beach, California.
Oh,
all right, so
nice.
Already, that profile is definitely right up our street. Here are a few topics I can discuss. Would any of these topics benefit your audience?
Please be boobs. Please be boobs. Please be boobs.
I can dive into the world of media, explaining how anyone can leverage it for boosting their business. Let's explore how your audience can turn the media game to their favor.
Okay.
2, I can share my adventure of building growing a diverse agency from scratch. From tech to mattresses to mortgages, I've served clients in every niche, and I've even sold an agency I built. Ready to hear the inside scoop? 3, I can talk about my experience in building a team that excels in creating high-performing media content is my forte. I can share insights and strategies on how to assemble and nurture such a team. 4, I can talk about the wild stories that have come up from my Howard Stern days. 5, the secrets the biggest media companies use behind direct response copywriting and advertising. So I'm sure you'd agree that's a match made in heaven.
I got a Howard Stern for him. I got Howard Stern for him. All right. I think it's a perfect fit.
I'm tempted to get them on. I'm tempted to call their bluff on these things. The nootropics juice and Rich Kagan.
Yeah. You know what? I think that's a great idea. How about this? Why don't we do this? Why don't we offer them the full run? They can run the full gamut of World Tag League.
Just get them on it and immediately be like, okay, so Yujiro and Evil versus Goto and Yoshihashi, go.
Yep. Give us your takes. Give us your take. Give us your take on this never title situation. Yeah, that'd be fucking awesome. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do it. I think we need some creative juice. I think we need some. I think we need to take this show to the next level. Is what I'm trying to say, Joel. And I think those two things, Those two, the media mogul who has stirred the pot, as he says. He stirs the pot. And also the basically an energy drink, right? Okay. Let me guess. All natural ingredients made of like cocoa powder, pumpkin seeds, and fucking yak cum. I don't. Fucking.
Both went straight to cum.
Delicious. It's amazing that that people will jump on that. You know what I mean? Like people will be like, yeah, I mean, obviously not here, but like just in general, like I don't know. I just there's a sucker born every minute, I guess, right? There's a sucker born every minute, and oddly enough, we do this on a pro wrestling podcast. It's what a world we live in, right? What a fucking world. You know what I'm looking at right now? So the governor of New Jersey has been getting his feet. He's been the media has been stirring his pot, so to speak. He come to find out during his tenure so far as governor of this glorious state known as the Garden State, Joel. I don't know if you know that. The Garden State, New Jersey. The governor of New Jersey, it's come to find out that he has a personal expense fund that is funded by the taxpayers of this great state of New Jersey. And he has used this expense fund for such important political and social endeavors, such as taking a group of people to the Taylor Swift concert and spending around $10,000 on food and beverages. Also, New York Jets and Giants games, as well as there's a couple of concerts here. The Power Jam. Wow, look at this guy. So yeah, now again, thousands of dollars being spent on him, while people just trying to get by. Make their way in this economy, and he's in the air conditioned boxes, dancing to "Shake It Off." It's fantastic. What a world we live in.
I love that that's a scandal, because that sort of stuff is happening pretty much every day here in the UK, and people just sort of shrug their shoulders and be like, "Oh, well."
Yeah, well, that's what it is. It's like everybody's just so numb to it at this point that it's like, okay, now tell me something new. I just, not that I'm like this big, we have to, wake up, everyone. It's not that. It's more of, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what?
At least back in the day, they used to try to hide that.
Right.
That kind of stuff. Now they're just not even making any effort whatsoever. It's just like right there in your face.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about it. Eat shit.
It's exactly what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. Eat shit. You're exactly right. And it's the same, it's the same faces and the same. It's just preposterous.
Sounds like modern New Japan, Damon. Oh,
hey now. You know what? We do a pro wrestling podcast focused on one Japanese pro wrestling promotion. That's New Japan Pro Wrestling. I know people are shocked by that, and sometimes people wonder if we really do that, but we do. So I'm going to say this. Let's get into the heavy-hitting action. Let's get into the meat and the potatoes, unless you got any more non-alcoholic beer suggestions.
I had John writing in saying, at what point will you guys give up watching full-time until the product turns around? Wrestle Kingdom, New Year's Dash, New Japan Cup. I fear for your sanity if the product doesn't change. If people are genuinely worried about us because we're so grumpy at the moment. But there was some good stuff this week, and I was in a good mood about it. And then did you watch today's Super Junior Tag League show?
I didn't see today's. Why? Was it terrible?
Well, we'll get there. No. Let's start with Fighting Spirit Unleashed, though, because that was a good show. I had fun with that. I did try watching on the Japan stream with Japanese commentary, but it was fucking awful and all crackly and terrible. So I ended up shall I say, gaining access to an English language stream.
Oh,
where we were treated to the debut of one Walker Stewart,
Who?
joined in the commentary booth by Vader Scott. So, what did you think of the debut of, well, both of them actually? I don't know it wasn't Vader's debut, but your thoughts?
I thought they did really well. I really did. And I would tell them, and I had plenty of opportunities to tell them directly as the show was going on. I thought he did really well. I thought he fit. Look, it's a very tough situation to be in the sense that he does have like a production guy in his ear a little bit, but not a lot. Like it's not like it's a legitimate TV deal. And it's hard to hear, and it's hard, and it's your first time, and you don't want to be too excited, and you don't want to be too, try to, not be excited. It's a tough line to walk. And I know he had a lot.
I'm 21 years old. Were you good at it? I wasn't good at anything when I was 21 years old.
Dude, I'm a fuck up now. But at 21, could you imagine? No. No. I would find a creative way to just fucking shit the bed. And that's another thing too. People I appreciate the fact that when people get an opportunity and they make the most of it, like I feel very good for those people. This might be a weird take, but I thought both of them worked pretty well together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it sounded like they've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
And the same applied for the Super Junior Tag League show I watched with Walker and Chris together. I mean, to sound that comfortable and that confident and professional, I say that was the headline there, just how professional it all sounded off the bat for a guy, self-confessed. He's not a massive, student of New Japan or its history or the product. This guy who's relatively new to it, but you wouldn't have been able to tell from watching the broadcast.
No, you really could. I told him that it felt like he has been there for a long, long time. You know what I mean? He did not feel out of place at all. And that's something. That is. I mean, that's a professional broadcaster, and to be that young is pretty amazing as well. No, I thought look,
tons of experience though.
Yes, and that's amazing too. To be that young and have that much. I thought it was. Let's put it this way: I was hoping for the best, and it exceeded my expectations. I'm not saying this is the greatest announcing performance in the history of pro wrestling. I'm saying that he fit in seamlessly, and that was really all that I asked for. Like, and here's another thing too. So I'm watching the show, and I actually popped into the Discord, and it was amazing how people were commenting on just about everything. And I think the true litmus test would be if our freaks, just fucking found one little thing and just hammered it home, because that's what they do, right? One little tiny thing, and they'll just be like, "We're on it," and they're going to make fun of it and turn it into a fucking meme for 2 hours, 3 days, 27 weeks. They did not once. Not once was there even like this fucking guy, or it wasn't there. So look, if he's 2 for 2, then we have been blessed by the announcing gods. Because one thing New Japan Pro Wrestling has done pretty well, at least from an English speaking perspective, is they've gotten quality broadcasters to do their shows, and that's Kevin, and that's even Carino, and even Callis, and even Ian Riccaboni, and And Mauro, I can never pronounce his name. Ronaldo, he did the Access shows and he did NXT and all. Like top to bottom, they constantly find Mavs. Remember Mavs? He was good.
Yeah. I was going to say the sort of interstitial guys, Mavs and Mark Warzeka, basically everyone with the exception of Lanny Poffo, who in his own way has left us with wonderful memories. God rest his soul.
Wasn't like who was it wasn't Swerve, was it? Who was the guy who did color commentating every once in a while?
Caprice Coleman?
Yes. Like that, he wasn't bad at all. They've had more hits than misses. Absolutely have. So yeah, I mean they do get that right. Gino, Chris, obviously. Chris is probably one of my favorite pro wrestling stories of a guy who was a big fan, did the podcast thing like us, wrote his book, did all the things that a big time fan would do, and parlayed that into giving Kevin Kelly information and translations and shit like that, and then boom, now he's like an important piece of New Japan's marketing. Let's be honest. He wears more hats than you would believe. I mean, more than just sitting in front of a fucking microphone. And he deserves all the props and credit in the world because he's living the dream. Like he was a teacher. He was you, Joel. You know what I mean? And I remember having a conversation with Chris, and we were kind of going back and forth, and this was on the table. And I said, dude, you can always go back to teaching, right? You can always go back to teaching, but you're never going to get an opportunity like this. You're never going to, and even if it's less money, even if it's, a little bit of a struggle, whatever it is, like you're never going to get an opportunity like this that's presented to you. This was after. Remember, he had that podcast, and I think we went over the matches of the Tokyo Dome. Was that his podcast? Eggshells.
Yeah, Eggshells.
Yeah. I forget what match I did, but I remember you being on there. I was on there. I think Craich was on there. I think WH Park was on there. So, to me, I love shit like that. Like Gino fucking, did his shit in Australia and in Indies, but he was like active on message boards and even to a certain degree, like Tony Khan. Tony Khan went to ECW shows, and that first New Japan Long Beach show, he's in the fucking front row. Like that's the kind of shit. I mean, his situation is a little different, being that Dad's a billionaire, but okay, take that out of the equation, and he's just like us. he's just like us, Joe. Minus the billions. So no, I like that. I like that. I like it when normal human beings find a way to break through that silly, stupid pro wrestling wall that pro wrestling builds up to even to this day in 2023, which is preposterous. But okay. I do like that. I like when people break through. So anyway, Walker Stewart did a great job. Veda Scott did a great job. I would have zero problem having them be a permanent fixture on U.S. broadcasts. I would have zero problem with that. Yeah. And make it consistent. You know what I mean? Like they're your U.S. team. And again, if you want to fly Walker in and have him do the English commentary, absolutely. Got collect those fucking miles, dude. Collect those airline miles. But I would I think that would be a good fit. It would be different. It would sound different. And I would be okay with that. Absolutely.
I think one of the most encouraging things is that obviously there's room for growth. Walker would be the first person to acknowledge that, and you'd expect that. Someone to come in on their first day and be perfect. That's never going to happen. But the work ethic and recognizing that it's going to be a journey and there's a lot of new stuff to learn is probably the most exciting part of it to me. Because if he's this good now, think about in 5 years how much better he's going to be. Yeah. So that's exciting to me. So I think one of the real big positives coming away from this weekend is having a voice in the booth now that Kevin is wrapping it up. Something that caused a lot of anxiety for us as New Japan fans, for the Western fan base. So now it's something I'm not at all worried about. For all the wonderful stuff that Kevin's done, we're in good hands.
Fuck Kevin Kelly. He's dead to me. he's dead to me.
Let's get into this show then. So this is Fighting Spirit Unleashed. Unless you have any hot takes on the kickoff matches, I will go straight into the main card.
Yeah, I think main card is where we need to be, right? By the way, this is a monster beverage, not a beer. Thank you very much.
Okay. We started off with the Strong Openweight Championship number 1 contenders 4-way with Satoshi Kojima getting the win over Fred Rosser, Jeff Cobb and Alex Coughlin, 9 minutes 51 seconds with a lariat. So Kojima is the new number 1 contender to Strong Openweight title. So I think I called this one. I mean, I thought Kojima versus Eddie Kingston is the sort of match that would, I don't know, it feels kind of like the sort of match we might get on that's confirmed for the Texas show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So yeah, we'll get in Lonestar Shootout. This match was pretty good. I mean, it was interesting in as much as usually for these 4-way matches, you get sort of different styles, but it was 4 guys who are pretty slow and hard hitting. So it wasn't the quickest match. It had its moments where it was a bit plodding, but I don't mind it. Like I think 4 ways are better than 3 ways because you don't have the stuff with the guy having a nap on the outside of the ring, and I thought they worked it pretty well. And no surprises for the winner really. Nice little opener.
It's amazing. I said it 2 weeks ago, last week. Fucking Kojima, man, back in the States. He's got something going on here. I'm telling you. I don't know what it is. We joked about the bread. We joked about the side chick. We joked about investment properties. He's got something because he spends at every opportunity. He's here. And I think that's, I don't know, kind of funny.
Maybe he's got a really annoying spouse in Japan. He just can't wait to get away from her.
It might be. I mean, maybe. You know what I mean? He gets out and he's like, "Oh, sorry, dear. They booked me again. I got to go back to the States." Oh, really? Yeah. I'm sorry. It's a wrestler's life. Sorry. I'm an international star. They need me. They need me to draw a house. I thought the match was good. Decent opener. I was a little concerned with, like, if I'm going to wag a finger at anybody, I thought Fred Rosser looked like 2 steps behind everyone else. And I don't know why, but, like, it just seemed like nothing was clicking with him. Nothing was, everything looked just like wonky and I don't want to say sloppy, but like it didn't look like he worked well with anyone. He just looked I don't know, maybe he had a bad day or he was sick or I don't know. But like I was just noticing like a lot of just fudged up spots with him. I don't know what the deal was there.
I think he's just maybe not wrestling as regularly as he used to, is not getting the reps in against high quality opposition. And when you are forced to step up in a big match like that, then it can be tricky.
Maybe. I mean, I thought it was weird when, speaking of announcing, they were like, he's spending a lot of time being the head trainer in the LA dojo. I was like, I don't know if we want to necessarily say that. We don't necessarily need to let that out. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was just rust. Maybe it was just for whatever reason it just didn't seem like it clicked. And that happens. There's whatever you're gonna do. What are you gonna do? It's the first match on a fucking show in what is it? Sam's Club, whatever the fuck it is. That hellhole. I thought it was fine. It was good. But yeah, it is weird that like, okay, we are like it feels like it's set up for Eddie Kingston's dream Japan year. He's going to wrestle every one of the guys he's traded videotapes. He's going to get in the ring with, and good for him. He could, if he could pull that off, and check those boxes. God bless him. You know what? Have fun with it. He does look like a tub of shit, though. I'm just saying. I'm just like the belly is it's gotten a little out of control, and this is coming from me, mind you. But again, I'm not a pro wrestler. I'm a fucking jerk off who sits in front of a microphone. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, I'm going to keep my powder dry for Eddie Kingston discourse for now. Yeah. We moved on into a tag team match with Stephanie Vaquer and Zeuxis defeating Johnny Robbie and Uvia. So Stephanie Vaquer pinned Johnny Robbie after 7 minutes 40 seconds with a package backbreaker. This was fun, but a bit sloppy, a bit wild at times, but I liked it. Yeah, and I'm just a big fan of Vaquer. Every time I've seen her on one of these shows, I've been really impressed. I think she's a very great addition to having these, this sort of pseudo women's division that they've got for the strong shows. She has, I believe, challenged Mayu Iwatani for the IWGP Women's Championship, so we're going to be getting that at the Texas show. And I'm really looking forward to that because every time I've seen Vaquer, she's delivered. We all know how excellent Mayu is, so that's one that I'm definitely excited about for the Texas show.
Yeah, I think, I enjoyed the match. And I think a lot of the people in our, like when that match was over, a lot of the people in the Discord were like, that wasn't bad. That was pretty good. That was fine. So, I mean, I hate to use our Discord as the bar, but like if they're nodding their head in approval, and again, I felt the same way. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be. I mean, I'm not saying you got to go run out and carve out time over the weekend to rewatch, but look, it didn't. It wasn't. It could have very easily been a match that people hand waved. Let's be honest. Like you're going to a New Japan Pro Wrestling show. I don't think many people are familiar with even how New Japan promotes their women's strong division.
Better than AEW does.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe you're right. It's, I think a lot of people, it could have easily been one of those matches that you hand waved. But if you stuck it out and you said, okay, let me give this a shot, I think people were pleasantly surprised. And here's the thing too. Like if we're going to do this, let's do this in the sense of, okay, I'll be the first to admit, I am not. I don't know when the last time I saw that title, the IWGP Women's Championship, defended. Can you tell me the last time that was defended? Exactly. You know what I mean? Like it's like it. Like I really wish they would do something. And again, here we go. We're going to January. We're going to the Dome, and we're not putting that belt on the main show. Like that bothers me. It really fucking.
I don't know if that's the case. If they said that's not going to be defended, I can't remember exactly what they said. I think they said that there wouldn't be a Stardom match, but I don't know if that necessarily means that title is not going to be. I mean, they've got two titles, haven't they? They've got the Strong Women's Championship and the IWGP Women's Championship.
Right.
I don't know. One of them might be defended. Both of them might be defended. None of them might be defended. I don't know. I've lowered my expectations, but when we do get given these matches, they're always a treat.
They are good. I mean, listen, I don't think there was a bad title defense. I don't think there was a bad, especially when you get like Mercedes Moné involved. Like it's been a very underrated division that I don't even think New Japan takes seriously, and that's a shame. I really feel that way. I don't think the promotion does anywhere near a job that they should be doing. If again, you don't have to do it. Like they didn't have to commit to this at all, right? Let's be honest. They didn't have to do shit. And I don't think anybody would have batted a fucking eyelash. But they did it. They said they were this is a thing. We're serious about this. And I'm sure a lot of it had to do with, okay, we're going to make this division and we're going to center this around Monet because we have an opportunity to I'm sure that was the thought process. Like, okay, fine. Like, can we do something with this? Like, you look, I'm complaining about a fucking promotion.
Look, we could copy paste this conversation about 10 of the New Japan titles. I've said it before, they introduce a new title with a clear mission statement. This is going to be the title for this thing. And you think, yeah, this is a great idea. It's got a clear identity. And then 6 months, everyone's forgotten about it. So,
and they've done it so often. It's not even like during this modern time. Remember the Universal 12, is it? Or I forget what fucking number they came up with. That title. And like there's just
12-year-olds.
Yes, yeah, it's children wrestling. Yeah, they weight limit of 100 pounds. Yeah, I mean, it's just they do it all the time. What's that? Adam Cole.
Adam Cole, take him.
Oh, Adam Cole, baby. All right. So that's again, good match. Let's do more with them, please.
Next match, 20-minute time limit. We had Gabe Kidd defeating Tom Lawler in 12 minutes, 30 seconds with a classic power driver. Just very encouraged just to see Gabe Kidd getting a singles match here.
Yep.
And hopefully the company are as, well, if they're half as high on him as I am, then we're going to be in for an exciting time. And although it was not a clean win, I'd say it's a pretty big win for Gabe Kidd. I mean, Tom Lawler's, was a fairly protected commodity on the strong shows. Maybe not so much these days, but either way, I thought this was a really good match, really intense. Nice mix of styles, good chemistry between them. The two the two different personalities, they sort of played off each other really well. I like this one. This was good.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. It was, watching this match, you're kind of like, you get two feelings, and one, I think you hit the nail right on the head with Lawler. It's like, man, what are we doing? Now, I'm sure that there's, logistics involved and, all that fun stuff. But I think if New Japan were serious, I'm sure with a little coaxing, he could go right on over there and do some fun stuff and be used a little bit more.
Coax. He's desperate for it. If you saw his Reddit post a few months ago, he's gutted that he missing out on G1. He would love to be getting more dates with his company, but maybe this is just one of these situations where there's a disconnect between the value that we as fans see in a wrestler and the value that the office see in him. It just seems that they're not as keen on him as we are, which is a shame.
Well, I mean, you could say that to the entire fucking strong roster, it feels like. But, okay, enough of that. Let's focus on the positive. And the positive was, A, a good match. B, Gabe getting a solid win. Again, a little shenanigans at the end, but, 1, 2, 3 in the middle. The idea of him not being a focal point, if they're going to continue with Bullet Club, him not being a focal point is they would absolutely be missing the mark. I think a little bit more.
No, I saw you saying that this was like you found this more compelling than most of David Finley's run as Bullet Club.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, and then people were like, well, remember Finley had a match with Ospreay, and yes, fair enough. Maybe I was getting a little out of control.
It doesn't count because Gabe's about to have a match with Ospreay in Rev Pro, and I'm sure. Well, that'll be an interesting comparison point, won't it? See how that one stacks up against Finland versus Ospreay. But Gabe's got that aura, man. This seems like a weird thing to say, but I enjoy watching his entrances. Often, if I'm in a hurry, I might skip entrances, but I just love watching Gabe's entrances because just the way he carries himself and all the shit talking and just the energy that he brings out is just really compelling to watch.
Yeah, no doubt. It's there is a little bit of a wild card element to him, and there's I don't know, an excitement, a feeling of randomness to his matches that I do enjoy. They are hard hitting. They are technically sound. Look, I think right now, like, we're relying a little bit too much on the typical angry Westerner in Japan, middle fingers to everybody and blah, blah, blah. Okay. I think once like his heelness kind of develops and he kind of strays away from those crutches, I think it gets a little bit more nuanced. I would love to see. I think the sky's the limit for the dude. I hate to keep banging his drum, but like, to me, he's a clear-cut winner. And again, like, the struggles that he had earlier and where he is now is fantastic. And I'm sure the company, let's be honest here, I'm sure the company might have a tiny little bit of reservation. Maybe they don't want to just fucking go all in on the guy. Let's see how he feels. Let's see how he makes out. Let's see if everything's everything's good. He's handling this well. Seems like it. And I have no. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about this one. I have no problem with the slow burn on him. I have no problem with that. Let's put the extra oomph slowly on him, just so he can carry it. Because I think if you put the rocket ship to a guy who, let's be honest, a year ago was admittedly struggling, that might be too much to handle, right? And there's nothing worse than getting that opportunity. Imagine, we just got done talking about it, like having that opportunity and then feeling that immense pressure and immense, if there's nothing worse than having it and not having it unravel, but knowing that it's unraveling, right? That's going to put you in a bad fucking position. So I kind of, in a way, don't have a problem with a slow burn on Gabe, just to make sure that he's good with it. Let's go at his pace. How about that? Let's go at his pace.
Yeah, totally agree. Okay, let's move on to next match, which was Atlantis' 40th anniversary match in the USA. So we had Atlantis, Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Okay, can I talk about this for 1 second? I know I cut you off, and I apologize. I feel like I'm stepping all over you.
No, go ahead.
Atlantis in the United States, maybe in like San Diego, maybe in like Tijuana, Mexico. Like you're right there on the Mexico-California border. Maybe he was. Atlantis is not relevant to anyone in the United States. I'm sorry. I mean, look, in all his years of pro wrestling, name me a Atlantis match that meant anything other than Mexico. Like, his match won, I think it was 2000. It might have been 2002. Like, it was match of the year because of the feud that it was built in Mexico. But in like I appreciate what they're doing, but like, let's pump the brakes here. Like fucking Johnny Rods has more impact in U.S. pro wrestling than Atlantis. Okay, but again, Atlantis is a name. We're familiar with him. He is a legend. But let's pump the brakes on all this magic that he's created in the United States. Okay, enough of that, please.
I have more memories of him working in Japan than in the US. I mean, he's been a mainstay for Fantastic Mania as long as I can remember.
Right. He was on dome shows.
Yeah. Was he? Okay, and I wasn't aware of that.
He was in a 6-man or an 8-man. Actually, he teamed with Taichi, Takamichinoku.
Oh, and Valiente. I remember that one.
Yeah. It was like third match or fourth. I want to say Wrestle Kingdom 4 or 5, 6, something like that. Single digits. Okay. Anyway, let's go on. I'm sorry, my bad.
No, it was fun match, vibes match. The highlight was he was just dropping Adrian Quest on his head right at the end.
Yeah,
that was incredible. That might have been the highlight of the whole show. But this is a fun time. I think this is the kind of match you're not going in expecting snowflakes, but just you're there for the vibes, and we got good vibes here.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was very.
Sorry, I forgot to mention. It's fun watching Rocky working full shitbag heel, and also Tiger Mask, because when Tiger Mask works CMLL, he is also a heel. Yeah. So it's just funny seeing them leading into that. And I know Rocky's been sort of heelish for a while, but that's something, if you only watch, pure New Japan, you'd be like, hey, what's going on? These guys are lovable baby faces. But they're wankers here.
Yeah. A lot of hazards in that ring. A lot of rose petals. Oh, slipping and sliding.
Yeah, let's have a little break afterwards. Rose petal cleanup between that and the next match.
Yeah, I tell you what, Veda Scott did have a funny line with, look at that, Rocky's throwing flowers. He's really respected. That was pretty funny. I dug that line. That was very good job. Very good job. Thinking on her feet. Good job. All right, yeah, good. Legends, a little fire pro wrestling for you. Perfect.
Then we had Julia defending her. What is it? She's got the strong women's title against Hyan. 12 minutes 3 seconds with a Northern Lights bomb. This was kind of bad, and then it got better at the end. Sexist. Not enough for me to say this was a good match. But no, I'm sorry. I'm holding it to exactly the same standards. I'm not going to grade it on a curve, David. I hold it to the same standards that I would hold any wrestling match to. Okay. I thought they sort of salvaged it at the end, but not going to be pounded down the door demanding for more appearances of Hyan, to be honest. It's not very good.
It was okay. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was okay. It was. I can't sit here.
It's a Dynamite. Tony Khan loves rubbish women's wrestling.
He really does. I think that's like his little fetish. I think. Like ruining wrestling, ruining women's pro wrestling. Yeah, look, if we're being honest, it wasn't great, and I think here's what I really think. I think they tried to do too much in a short amount of time. Like they tried to squeeze in as much shit as they fucking possibly could, and I get it. You only have a certain amount of time, and it wasn't like they were like giving them an hour or 30 minutes or whatever the fuck to really get into a match. So it looked like they tried to squeeze in 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag, but nothing really felt like it connected. Like it felt like, let's do our moves with a Z and try and get over. And again, some of these wrestlers are looking for jobs. So they're trying to get their shit in. They're trying to make a mark. They're trying to impress somebody in the back to get more work. I can't blame them for that. But for the match itself, yeah, I mean, I think both would freely admit that they have better stuff in them.
Then we had the strong tag title match with Hikuleo and El Fantasmo defeating the Monster Sauce challengers Alex Zane and Lance Archer. ELP pin Zane 9 minutes 25 seconds following the Thunder Kiss 86. I really enjoyed this one. I've had fairly high expectations for the Hikuleo ELP team. I'm probably on an island with that, but I have been out on the streets demanding for them to team together before it was actually a thing. And now that they are teaming together, it's even, I wouldn't say massively exceeding my expectations. It is meeting my expectations, which were already quite high. So I'm pleased with it. I think they look good together. I think they've got good chemistry. There's a sort of little and large dynamic there, which I find quite enjoyable to watch. And I thought they meshed really well with Zayn and Archer. There were some really fun spots. Like I thought the double rope walk spot was really great. Walk spots. So you're not a fan, no? No. I know, a bit contrived, but it was seeing ELP doing increasingly weak chops and then going for the purple nurple. Right. Lance Archer, I found that quite funny. And yeah, I thought the Monster Sauce team were good. I'm glad. Apparently, they're going to be coming back for World Tag League. So yeah, I thought this one was a really fun match.
I think let's match first. Yes, I thought it was a fun match. I had no issues. And I think both teams gelled well with each other. I guess the biggest thing again, not that I had a problem, but it's just kind of like an overarching thing is that this is just another match with titles that mean nothing, and it kind of makes everything feel nothing. I like them as a tag team, and I think it's a guarantee that we see them in World Tag League. And I think the dynamic between Hikuleo and ELP is fun. They can like them as like a little bit of a comedy team thrown in with some pretty fun and creative spots. I dig, and I think there's more that can be had because I think from a creative standpoint, ELP is he does his homework. He does not. You're not going to get a cliche pro wrestling match out of him, which is a great thing. Again, that being said, I felt like the titles took away from this match. I really do. I would have no problem with just being like a contenders match for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. But Lance Archer, I think, New Japan, I don't know what the problem is in the sense of, AEW's not using him. That's for sure. We can't find a spot for him. And even Alex Zane, like we can't find a spot for him. That's odd to me because I think that there is a definite need for a Lance Archer type. And maybe they just feel like, okay, we've gotten all we can out of Lance Archer. I would disagree with that strongly. Pardon the pun. And
I mean, he was wrestling a fairly big singles match at Dominion this year, wasn't he? He had that Will Ospreay match in the
for the US, was it? Yeah. I mean, yes. But okay, so let's continue that. Why can't we? I don't understand why a guy like that maybe it's a contract thing. I mean, I don't know what kind of deal Lance Archer has. So maybe he can't. Maybe he's contractually obligated to sit backstage at catering and eat all their fucking food. I don't know, but it just seems like a wasted opportunity, I think.
I think they're using him all right. I don't want to
really
see him overexposed, and the fact that they are confirmed for World Tag League, to me, that's the thumbs up.
Okay.
Right. That's where I want to see him.
I want more monster Lance Archer. I want to see him more in the mix.
Okay, then we have the strong openweight championship. Eddie Kingston successfully defending against Henare, 12 minutes 24 seconds by Uraken. This was okay. I mean, I don't think they've got the best chemistry. I think I've said before, Henare is at his best with someone else who's going to go absolute balls to the wall and agree to hit him very hard and be hit really hard. And Eddie Kingston wasn't that. And I didn't expect that going in. And I'm kind of losing enthusiasm for this sort of goodwill, make-a-wish. Oh, look, Eddie Kingston's getting to live out his dream. Like, it's time to move on from that.
Yeah.
I think all the criticism you've laid out, I would like to see this championship pass on to a New Japan wrestler for a start. Let's put on a younger guy. And I can't deny that there is a certain sort of star power to Eddie Kingston. He does get great reactions. I mean, he probably got one of, if not the loudest reaction at Royal Quest 3. But again, I think that speaks more to how AEW has sort of gobbled up the Western market share for wrestling fans. More than, I don't know, I was going to say Kingston's quality as a wrestler. I mean, we've gone over this plenty of times. I mean, his authenticity is something that's appealing to a lot of people. I get it. I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, I mean, he's popular. I mean, TV will do that, right? I mean, can I ask this? And I only ask this because I'm not an avid watcher of AEW. And when I say not an avid watcher, I never watch it. Is he
Sorry,
on?
and you're asking me a question about AEW.
Good point. I guess in your travels, I mean, is he on? Is he booked on TV a lot?
Isn't he one of their champions? Is he ROH champion or something?
I don't know.
I'll have to look it up. ROH champion.
Because I don't think he's on TV.
Yeah, he is. He's the ROH World Champion.
Maybe he's on TV a lot. Who knows? I don't watch it. But if it seems like he is, because why else would people be fucking jacking off to him? He's on TV. Yeah, look, I said this a million times that I love the fact that he found an opportunity and got an opportunity, and he's made the most of it. No fucking doubt. He's an East Coast indie guy who's been up and
novelty's worn off.
It kind of is.
And also the fact that he is ROH champion means that compromises the drama of him defending this strong title, because there's no way he's going to be losing any matches while he's still ROH champion. So it's just got a bit of a mess now for me.
I mean, maybe. I mean, who knows? I mean, is the Ring of Honor, whatever? Is he the world champion or is he the TV? Who knows? I mean, is it that important? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Well, look, until you can give me evidence of an AEW title holder losing a New Japan match, then I'm going to stick to my guns. And
imagine if you were doing like a Noah podcast, right? Is there anybody who does? Is there a Noah podcast on the Voices of Wrestling podcasting
yes,
network?
we had Paul on our podcast a few months ago.
Oh, do we?
Him and
yeah.
Gerard, they do the Emerald Flow show.
It's
right. It's a
right.
Noah and All Japan podcast.
That's correct. That's where I get confused. I think of them as a All Japan. I'm sorry. I don't know. But okay, so now you got to talk about New Japan and how they're always like the fucking bitch of New Japan, and like we're the bitch to AEW.
Yeah, it's fine. It is what it is. I'm going to moan about it and probably annoy a lot of people, but I have to be honest. And I think it's a valid criticism when we're critically assessing the drama of these strong openweight championship defenses, when politically that there's no jeopardy there. There's no way that the champion's going to lose. I don't know. Maybe I want to know.
No, you're not, because I'm right there with you. And again, like I'm sorry if like when people press stop after these shows that they're not getting the warm and fuzzy feeling for something that they love. I love it too, but I feel like I have an obligation to anybody who is willing to push the play button of getting honest opinions and honest feedback and honest everything, right? And if I'm not feeling something, I'm going to let you know. And hey, guess what? That could change in a week. That could change in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's what we do. We lurch from it's so over to we're so back on a week.
We do that. Listen, we do a show. This is for entertainment value, right? This is not. Come on. Yes, but yes, you're going to get honesty. Turning Saints. You know that song, The Killers, Mr. Brightside? You familiar with that one, Joe?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I am. I do know that song. I know a song. Yay.
Yes. Did you know he got plastic surgery? Brandon Flowers, the singer. Maybe one of the most attractive human beings on earth got plastic. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why would you
have done?
Little face.
Tusks?
Yeah, little tuck. Little face tuck. Yeah. Like, what the fuck, man? Really? I was like, him? If he needs plastic surgery, what the fuck do I need? Jesus Christ.
Should get a bit more adventurous with it. Go into the plastic surgeon's office and say, I would like an elephant's trunk, please, instead of a nose.
No, not a nose.
Be a real trendsetter.
You know where you put in that trunk, right? Right where I need it.
Damon, get your mind out of the gutter.
I need it. I need an elephant's trunk. It'd be great. Just swinging it about. Eating peanuts with my cock would be great. All right.
Right. Next, we had a special tag match with Yuya Uemura and Sanada going to a time limit draw with Hiromu Takahashi and Tetsuya Naito. How did this get your juices flowing for Wrestle Kingdom?
Absolutely not. It was just there.
I did notice, right? One takeaway: Naito is working really hard to be a prick, and he did it in London, antagonising the fans. Like I mentioned him sort of trying not to high five fans, not to touch them, and he was repeatedly spitting at Sanada. So he is working overtime to try to make Sanada feel like the babyface here.
Good luck. Good luck, because guess what? 30,000 people in that fucking dome are going to be rooting for Naito. I'll walk out with a title to end this.
We did get the cool new Yuya entrance.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Very shonen anime style.
Yeah.
They're really sort of trying to present him as the
cool kid.
Someone mentioned it was a bit like My Hero Academia. I don't know. I've never watched /read/played it. I don't know what it is, but apparently that's the vibes we're getting from Yuya's entrance.
Know what it got? No, it reminded me of. Do you remember that app back in like fucking early 2000s? I'll say maybe even earlier than that. It was like comic, whatever I forget. It was comic something, and the whole premise of it was they laid out like the storyboard, like a comic, and you drop in your pictures, and then they fucking filter your picture to make it look like it seamlessly goes into this comic. Remember that app? No, not right.
Yeah, no, I do.
Oh, do you?
That's probably what they're using.
Yeah, that's what his entrance reminded me of. Like the beginning of it, I was like, oh my god, this is just like that fucking app. That's how old I was. And then I downloaded from Napster, and then I played it on Winamp, and then I listened to Dave Meltzer on my real player. Yep, that was me.
I had the sickest Dragon Ball Z skin for my Winamp player.
Yeah,
back in the day.
I think I had a Maple Leaf
MSN Messenger, chatting to my friends on dial-up internet.
Yeah, no doubt. I remember getting the first time I was on the internet. I was living with these two chicks, one of which turned out to be my wife. And we had dial-up, and you had to pay. Like you had to connect to a local phone number. We lived out in the middle of fucking nowhere, and we didn't really have a local phone number. So it dialed a non-local number that charged us like we got a bill back from the internet. It was like fucking $300 phone bill just for being on, just going on AOL, going on Usenet. Remember in the news groups, Usenet? Is that still a thing?
I'm not familiar with that one.
It would be like alt.pro wrestling or RSPW or whatever the fuck it was. Yeah, it was just like message board, but like every, like it was kind of like Reddit in the sense that there were so many fucking subreddits, but it was I want to say Usenet or news groups or some shit like that. Yeah. Like I just remember going on, like I was always on like the 9 Inch Nails one and like a couple other bands like Mode or Cure or some shit. Yeah, I don't know why I don't know why that's. I think it's the first. Remember porn back then, like the infancy of the internet, and like you would wait forever for a fucking picture
of Kazaa.
Yeah, right. LimeWire, right? Yeah, hot girls sucking it off or whatever, some wacky title, and it would just be like a picture, and it would take forever to download. And then when you got into like fucking video clips, like it'd be like 20 minutes with your dick in your hand waiting for this fucking thing to download. for like one fucking loop, one continuous loop. All right. Those were the days. All right. Where do you want to go now?
Let's go to the main event. So that was the Never Openweight Championship. Shingo Takagi defeating the champion Tama Tonga. 26 minutes, 58 seconds was Last of the Dragon. So Shingo's our new Never Openweight champion, which is a pleasant surprise because I just feel that Tama Tonga, as a relatively high-profile singles champion, had hit its ceiling.
Yeah.
And don't think he is good enough to entertain people in this long of a match, really. Well, I think this went about 10 minutes too long. He's just not that compelling working from the top. And he's definitely got his upside. I can see he has a lot more babyface upside in front of the Japanese audience. So I do see the value in him. But I'm really happy it's back to Shingo. And I know Shingo's been never champion before, but you do get there's like a benchmark of quality for a Shingo match there. So yeah, I'm excited to see how he does with his what is this, his third reign as Never Champion?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think if I'm being 1,000% honest here, it's a title that's tailor made for him. And when he had it or he's in the mix, like the title just seems that much more important. And I just think he's just a better fit, to be honest. I think I'm officially ready to put the Tama Tonga stuff to bed. Like I'm done. I think the idea that he is a top guy or could be a top guy, we really need to put that to rest. It's beyond the point that he's good at certain times. He's there 90% of the time. He's there. I know that New Japan has done their best to shove him down our throat, and putting him in at least decent spots to take that next jump. He has been with this company for ages. And I think it would do everyone a fucking world of good to let's put this to bed. Like, I think it's time for him to move on. I think it's time for him to do other things in his career. And I think the promotion, like, what do you do with the guy now? Like, what are we doing with him? Like, where does he fit into everything? And look, it's this. I don't think this is the right company for him. If you want my honest opinion, I don't think it is. He's been here forever, and it's been one thing after the other where he's given so many fucking opportunities. It just seems like there's a level that he just can't cross. But here's the thing, that's fine. Like that's 90% of pro wrestlers. You know, that's nothing to be ashamed of, or that's nothing to be like, okay, you know, but it is what it is. Like, enough already. We've tried everything. Let's move on. Let's move on from this, because it's gotten to the point where it's, I don't know, like it's just, we're done. We've done everything we can. So yeah, that was a pleasant surprise. I did not think that would have happened on a show like this. But I think it's for the betterment of everyone. I really do. I do. And I hope that in 2024, Tama Tonga gets the bag, as they say. And, you know, goes on and does things that I think he's better suited for. Like, I think he would, of just about anybody on New Japan's roster, he would slide right into WWE and be a star. I really, truly believe that. I think he could be an absolute star in WWE. I do. I think it's the perfect landing spot for him. Truth be told, I don't know why he didn't go in the first place. And then he resigns this fucking deal with apparently a clause in there that gives him a little bit of a reason to stay. But I just shake my head at that. Like, what was the value in that for everybody? I don't know.
Just think, Damon, if he and his brothers were to sign with WWE, that would add like at least 2 years onto the Bloodline storyline.
At least, yeah. I mean, let's just start with the easy stuff. That's the no-brainer, right? And then you can go from there. I don't know. I just think that for the time that he's been here, it's just one of those things that, okay, and it's okay. This is not, I'm not knocking the dude. I'm just saying, like, okay, he's an original Bullet Club member. Okay, well, Bullet Club's not really what it was. Okay, now he's, apparently, in this faction of floating, just I don't know. Like, he just seems like a fucking rudderless ship right now. And I don't know what you do with the guy. I guess this is the biggest problem. What the fuck do you do with the guy?
Well, tag league, baby.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the card for Lonestar Shootout then. I mean, we'll obviously preview the... Oh, shit, this is next Friday. I didn't realise it was this soon.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll try and record again before this show so we can preview it properly. But we have Tom Lawler versus Fred Rosser announced for that. Julia against Trish Adora. We've got Zack Sabre Jr. defending the NJPW World Television Championship against Mike Bailey. Mystico against TJP in a special singles match. Mai Iwatani against Stephanie Vaquer for the IWGP Women's Championship. Toru Yano versus Joey Janela. Eddie Kingston defending the Strong Openweight Championship against Satoshi Kojima. We've got the Strong Openweight Tag Team Championship on the line with Hikuleo and ELP defending against the West Coast Wrecking Crew. And then Shingo defending the Never title against Trent Beretta. So, I mean, there might be other matches added to that, but it's a pretty great card, actually.
It's not bad.
I'm surprised at how heavy they've stacked it. We've got a few questions for this one. So, Mike Bailey said, I should be the world TV champion. I bet Zack Sabre Jr. doesn't even own a TV. Meanwhile, I watch 80 plus hours of diners, drive-ins, and dives on TV every single week. I want to win this belt and defend it against Guy Fieri. My motivation is too strong. So Aramitha on the Discord says, inspired by this tweet, what TV celebs would you like to see challenged for the NJPW World TV title?
Great question. And that was a great little interview there. The Diners, Drivers. I don't even think he owns a TV. That is fucking fantastic. That is a great job. And that will be a great match. No doubt in my fucking mind. We need a TV personality to challenge for the title. What was the question?
Yeah, so a TV personality to challenge for the TV title.
Okay. I'm going to say, what would I say? I'm going to say, that's a good question. I don't know.
Louis Theroux.
I don't know. Who's that?
He's a British documentarian.
Does that count as TV? I'm kidding.
He's been in a lot of TV shows. How about, I was going to say Russell Brand, but no. Although he'd be exactly the sort of person Rocky would book, so it might actually happen.
I'll tell you what, if you're an indie pro wrestler in the United States, you might want to fucking take Rocky Romero out to lunch, because at the very least, for all we laugh and giggle, and he's loyal to the end, man. He's loyal to the end of his friends. I mean, Trent Beretta
says, read Joey Janela, are you more upset that he is being booked, or more relieved that one of Rocky's new friends isn't a sex pest?
That is a relief. That is a relief. He's loyal. You got to give it to the guy. He's not. He doesn't forget his friends, no matter how fucking old they are, and how banged up they are. So, yeah, good. I mean, I don't think anybody sat here and expected Joey Janela against Toru Yano to be a blood feud of the century, but here we are. I'm getting back to my TV thing. See, here's the problem. I don't really watch. I got it. Well, he already. I was going to say Action Bronson because he does like that fucking food show. He used to do it, and I do enjoy that. But he already was. He's been involved with AEW, so he's off the table. Off the table.
Gordon Ramsay.
I love the way he describes how he cooks. They're very short, snappy sentences. Like rosemary in.
Fish, oven,
right?
Sauce, cook.
Right. That's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. Cinnamon on, toast it. Like he's just like
tandoori spice halibut with cucumber raita. Done.
Right, done. Right. Rubbish. Yes. Yeah, that might be a good one. That might be a decent one. Who else is out there that people would know? I don't know. I mean, that's probably a good one. That's probably a top one. Let's go. Gordon Ramsay. I like that one a lot. Because here's the problem: there's not really a lot of like tough guys on TV. Like you know what I mean? Like who would be like you would say like, okay, that's a tough guy on TV.
Ross Kemp.
Who?
Ross Kemp. These are references that only British listeners will get. All the British listeners will be like, yes, Ross Kemp versus Zack Sabre Jr. Fucking book it.
Who's Ross Kemp? Give me the Ross Kemp.
He used to be an actor on a British soap opera called EastEnders, and he was one of these characters called the Mitchell brothers. He was Grant Mitchell was his name, and him and his brother Phil Mitchell, they were like the local hard men from EastEnders. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm with you then. I'll go there. Fine, and Gordon Ramsay. We'll double up on the British. Let's go.
Okay, let's get into previewing Power Struggle then. And
I'm sorry, I'm just saying it.
Just do a quick wrap up of the Super Junior Tag League, which I don't have the standings for, so I will get those up. Right. To be honest, I don't have that much new to say from when we analysed it last week. I would say, okay, let's have a look at the standings then. So, I've really enjoyed the tournament. There's been some great stuff. I think it's been a really good showcase for how great the junior tag division has been this year, and how they've sort of stacked that division and all the young up and coming talent. And I feel the stock has risen for a lot of these young guys. I thought Wato's been excellent. Titana's been great. Kevin Knight has just coming on leaps and bounds. Kosei Fujita looks like a future star. Even Yo has been very entertaining to watch. He's kind of almost got sort of Nakamura vibes about him, just the way that he just seems to have a lot more confidence. I've enjoyed watching him anyway. So yeah, there's been a lot of really good stuff, a lot of compelling storylines, a lot of really great action. You know, if people are looking for match recommendations, I'd say pretty much all of the main events are worth watching. And I was hoping for a catch-22 because the way they've been booked, it's been about TJP having a neck injury, so they had a slow start. You know how they always book these New Japan tournaments, where one of the early tournament favourites will go on a losing streak and then they'll chain together a load of wins and do the sort of comeback story. I thought Chris Charlton did an excellent job getting that over on commentary and also sort of playing up Akira. He had some sort of elbow injury, I think, and how that played into the respective finishing moves of Kushida and Kevin Knight. Kushida's actually been really good in this tournament as well. Taka Michinoku's been good.
Yeah.
Everyone's been shown out in this tournament, really. It's been really fun to watch. So Catch-22 made it through to the final. So I thought, yeah, that's great. You know, that's something I predicted. And, you know, we're all looking forward to seeing them get their redemption. Now, I was hoping for them to be facing El Desperado and Master Wato, who have been featured really heavily in this tournament. They've main evented most of the shows. Great chemistry. I've really enjoyed it. And, you know, this is like the New Japan version of the Brochachos, as I've said. But it's just been very fun to watch their relationship grow. And that sort of Despy's growing this grudging respect for Wato and their synergy improving as a team. Even their entrance becoming more synergetic. What's the adjective of synergy? But that,
I believe it's a synergy.
As the week's gone on. And I thought Catch-22 versus Despo Wato would be a fantastic showcase. This is what I think your tournament finals in New Japan should be a showcase for that division, a celebration of the very best that division's got to offer. So someone, a casual fan who's not watched the whole tag league, can dip back in at Power Struggle and see the best that the junior tag division has to offer. That's what I feel the tournament final should be. Now, we did have it set up with Despo Wato against House of Torture, Sho and Kanemaru in the main event of today's show. And I understand the function that House of Torture serve to be, I think their perfect spot is in a semi-final. You know, just like Evil did in the G1, just there to sort of frighten you a bit, thinking, oh my God, they won't make it to the final.
Right.
But then they don't actually make it to the final. So there's a little bit of jeopardy there. However, they won, and they're going through to the final. So our Super Junior Tag League final will be Catch 2-2 against House of Torture, Sho and Kanemaru. Now, to be fair to Sho and Kanemaru, they have not been terrible. They've not been doing full-on heavy House of Torture shtick. They've had their little shenanigan moments, but by and large, they've been all right. However, that's not what I want to see in a tournament final.
Yeah.
I really just had my heart set on Catch 2-2 against Despo Watto, or even you could have plugged another team in there, the Intergalactic Jet Setters or the LIJ team, Bushi and Titan. I think there's other options you could have gone with rather than underdog babyfaces trying to overcome the dastardly heels. And I understand there is a place for that. I just wish it hadn't been in the tournament final. Now, looking at the Power Struggle lineup, let's see exactly where it is on the card. So, it's the main event.
Yeah. It's close to the top.
Oh, no, it's not. Sorry, no, it's not the main
Semi,
event.
right?
I'm looking at the wrong show. No, we don't have a match order yet.
Oh, okay.
So I can't really say that. But you would expect them to get enough time. They're not going to be saying, right, 12 minutes in and out, boys. Let's get nice and snappy. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to have enough time, but I don't know. I wish they'd have gone with Despo Watto Catch 2-2. Again, I understand the function that House of Torture serve. They do have a role, but tournament finals is not it for me.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, though. I mean, being in such a high-profile spot, you do have an opportunity of there being not a ton of shenanigans, but there's going to be. I can see it a mile away where it's going to be one of those great matches that you have to find a way to disconnect yourself from it when the bullshit goes down. And you know what? They might go another 5 minutes and put on excellence. But,
Here's the thing, though. I should add this, actually. Sorry to interrupt, but I think an important caveat to this discussion is that the main event from today, the Despo Watto against Kanemaru and Sho match, it wasn't good. They completely fucked up the finish of it. And I don't know whose fault it was, but there was a moment where Sho received the Sutenkaku German suplex from Watto, which has been death for everyone that he's done it against. And then Red Shoes was doing the count, and then he sort of moved as if he was expecting to be yanked out of the ring, but no one yanked him out of the ring.
Oh.
And then on commentary, they're saying, "Oh, Sho kicked out. No one's kicked out of it before." And then Sho did Watto did another move. I can't remember which one it was. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But then he was yanked out of the ring. It was just really messy and sloppy. And to be fair, that doesn't happen too often. But it's just the sort of stuff that you don't want to see in the main event that is wrapping up a tournament that I've really enjoyed. 90% of it has been really fun to watch.
Yeah.
So, and they fucked it all up at the end.
I mean, look, if you're going to do that kind of shit, and usually, to be truthful, if we're looking at House of Torture and all the bullshit they pull off, I would say the majority of the time they hit their spots. But yeah. I mean, if you're going to have a fucked up finish like that, you gotta be there for your fucking spot. And if you're not, that's what you get. You get glaring nonsense, glaring oopsies. Yeah. Look, sometimes I think when I say I mean we. I'm speaking for you, and I'm speaking for a whole group of people that have similar mindsets.
Speaking for the entire nation of Japan?
Not Japan, per se. I'm going to speak for people who might listen to this particular podcast and others of the same kind of mindset. The point is that I lost it. I completely lost what I was going to say. I am getting so old. My brain is mush. My brain's mush. It's an absolute... You know how normal people, like Shibata, can have their brain taken out and put back in and everything's fine? I can't have that. I feel like you have to scrape my brain up the side of my skull and then put it on.
Okay, great flashbacks to watching Saw X on Halloween.
There you go.
That was That was great fun.
Now you're talking. I forget my point, but let's put
watching that being like, oh, that's just a normal Tuesday for me, removing my own brain.
right.
Do that before I go to sleep every night. I have to leave it in a jar.
I swear to God, I wish I could. I wish I could rinse it in some way because there's so much. Just all right. I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit. So I got put on new ADHD medication, and it didn't. I'm not reacting well to it. I'm very
What are the negative side effects?
So I get like just instant rain clouds. You know what I mean? Like I just if the smallest thing goes wrong, it's a fucking disaster. The smallest thing. And unfortunately, I've had some.
There you go. People can't complain about the podcast being negative because it's not our fault.
It's not my fault. I have a disability.
So if you complain, you're cancelled.
You're right. If you complain, you're cancelled. I have a disability, and I demand accommodations to be made. Yeah, it just makes me feel fucking like just instantly. Oh, everything sucks. And then very snippy and very like on edge. Very. I think the word I like to use is fragile. Fragile. Like a baby in your arms. Be gentle. You know that song, Depeche Mode. By the way, that was a good concert.
On the House of Torture match.
Right. Okay, so again, House of Torture. Yeah. Well, first medication. It stinks. I gotta get new ones because this I can't live like this. But the second point is,
I was just looking forward to next week's podcast when you get medication that's working for you, and Power Struggle's quite good, and we're like, yeah, we're New Japan's back, baby.
Oh, Damon must have good medicine now. Something must be fucking clicking in that mush head of his.
Welcome to the super bipolar cast.
Yeah, no joke. No joke. It sucks because like I'm at the point where I'm trying to learn new things. Like I'm trying to learn a lot of the stuff that I talked about before. And it's just I feel like I have to constantly read the same fucking thing over and over again. And what sucks is that I know people will disagree with this, but I don't feel like I'm dumb. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like I'm stupid, but I feel stupid because I can't fucking. There's a disconnect between like if you would take my brain and cut it in half, like there's some divider that doesn't allow the back of my brain to communicate well with the front of my brain. That's exactly what's going on, and I just got to make that fit. Anyway, enough about me and my sad sack life. House of Torture, speaking of sad sack. I guess my point is this. There's a very good possibility that this match will be great. Now you got to turn off your brain for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then the home stretch might be good. Or you're going to have to turn off your brain to the very end. I'm predicting a catch-22 win, though. I think House of Torture will be foiled. I hope, because boy, oh boy. Here's the problem. I think they win, and you're going to see them opening match. I really do at Wrestle Kingdom.
What, catch 2-2 against War Dogs?
No, I think it's going to be House of Torture. Don't you?
Oh, they can't do House of Torture against the War Dogs.
Why not?
No way.
You don't think so?
Be heel versus heel.
So what? I mean, and here's the thing. Do you really consider House of Torture Bullet Club?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't feel they're anywhere even close to being in the same faction. I think they're completely different.
I just think Catch 2-2 winning is the more compelling narrative for the.
I'm in. Like, trust me, I think that match would be fantastic. Or imagine this: I find a way to fucking do a 3-way.
Yeah, we can never rule that one out.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Again, Catch 2-2 versus War Dogs would be a perfectly serviceable and exciting opener for Wrestle Kingdom. So let's hope that's the direction. Okay, what else have we got from the old power struggle then? So again, we don't have a full lineup here, but I'll just go with what we've got. We've got the Frontier Zone, where we get these showcase matches from other Japanese promotions, where we've got, I think it's some Dragon Gate guys, Mochizuki Jr., Yoshiki Kato, and Strong Machine J against 3 mystery opponents. Well, I don't know what order to do this in. We've got... I'll just do the order on the website. Who cares? Right, this will probably be the main event. IWGP US UK Heavyweight Championship match. Challenger Shota Umino taking on the champion Will Ospreay. Man, this...
Come on, what are you doing? How are you booking this?
Shota, man. You can't have Shota losing 4 matches to Ospreay and then Ospreay leaves.
Right.
You can't do that. That's promotional malpractice. Now, admittedly, not all 4 of those matches were in a pure New Japan ring, but enough of them have been to where I think that would be a real problem. Like, that would leave a bad taste in my mouth if Shota just loses again and then Ospreay's gone.
Yeah. I mean, that would be just... Look, I'll just put it this way. If Will wins, which he shouldn't, but if he does, and he goes into Wrestle Kingdom, then we know where this is going, right? We know this is like mock central, and away we go. I really feel like if Will loses, I think there's no doubt that he's leaving, 1. But 2, like, to me, that's the value. Like everything that you've built Will Ospreay to be, you're wasting. Like, you're wasting everything, because you have to be able to put over these young guys if these stars are leaving. Have to. And it means nothing to have that done at Wrestle Kingdom. It really doesn't. It means more here. Can we all agree with that? Like, it means more to everyone that it happens here. I hope and pray that it does. Because if not, I don't know. Here's the thing. I know Will Ospreay loves this game, loves pro wrestling, and understands pro wrestling. Right? I'm going to go so far as to say that the guy has a strong pro wrestling mind. I'm not saying he's fucking Jerry Lawler, or I'm saying he's, whatever. Pick old school territory pro wrestling knowledge guy. Like, but what I am saying is that he's smart enough to know his value, and he's smart enough to know what losing at Power Struggle would mean to not only a guy who we need to find a way to boost. We need a guy to not go over against him. We need a guy to have some juice going into Wrestle Kingdom. Like, there's value. And that value...
So what is wrestling juice at Wrestle Kingdom? Is that confirmed?
No, silly goose. But, like, him losing to Mox at Wrestle Kingdom, if, in fact, that's the direction we're going, is really means nothing. And, in fact, is a fart in church when it comes to the overall value that he brings. I'm talking about Will. Like if he knows this, is what I'm saying. So I'm going to trust him to say, you know what? I probably should be lying down here. I probably should give him some of, transfer some of this over to a guy who needs to be a star. We'll see if that happens. Fingers crossed. I truly believe it should happen. Do I think it will happen? Here's the problem, and I think this is the major thing of my kind of being down on New Japan, is that I don't have confidence that they're going to do that. I don't have confidence that they'll do that. That's maybe one of the more sad things about the state of New Japan Pro Wrestling, is that me as a fan, I'm not confident enough that they will do that. I if they're smart, they would. I'm not confident.
I'll ask you again, Damon. Who did Jay White put over in his final New Japan match on his way out?
Yeah, wasn't it Eddie Kingston, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Hikuleo can't wrestle in Japan, but yeah, the final fucking nail in the coffin was Eddie Kingston. It's come on. Look, I will be so much happier.
It's going to be Wrestle Kingdom. Will Ospreay defending the US title against Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston's finally the guy to defeat Ospreay.
Trent Beretta. I hope. Like, I really feel like I don't want to put too much stock into this match from a fan perspective and where the company is heading. This has to happen. If this doesn't happen, Joel, on a scale of 1 to 1,000,000, where would you sit with this company if Will Ospreay gets a clean pinfall at Power Struggle?
I'd have to wait and see what the follow-up is. If the follow-up is Ospreay versus Moxley at Wrestle Kingdom, then I'm going to be really angry.
Yeah.
And I've said it before, but again, I'm not going to relitigate all of that again, but for all the reasons we've laid out, that will just be fucking brain dead.
Yep, it would be brain dead. Give me your feeling. Give me a scale 1 to 10. How do you feel?
How confident am I that
they're going to do the right thing?
Shotter's going to win.
Yeah.
Oh God. Honestly, it's hope more than expectation. I'd say about a 4.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, that's exactly what the fuck I'm saying. Like, I've never in my entire life have rooted so hard in my mind for Will Ospreay to lose. You know what I mean? And if he doesn't...
Okay.
Good.
Okay, a different scenario here. Okay, let's say Ospreay wins.
Yeah.
Then after the match, he's doing his interview and he gets attacked from behind by David Finlay. And then it's Finlay versus Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom. And Finlay is the person who beats Ospreay, takes that title. I'm not saying this is good or what I want. I'm just throwing this out there. How would you react to that? Because is that something that you could see happening?
I mean, I could see it happening. Would I be thrilled with that? Let's put it this way. I would be more thrilled with that because at least it's serving New Japan's interest. At least there's that. Would I pick David Finlay as that being that person? Well, I mean, you instantly give him a shot of adrenaline, that's for sure. And it does breathe a little bit of life into what I think is beyond the corpse when it comes to Bullet Club leadership and it being anything special. So I will say that I'm it's not my plan A, but okay. I mean, at least it serves New Japan's interest a little bit more. Shota's got to be the guy. He's got to win here. I'm going to say it. He's got to win, and if he doesn't, I just don't know what this company's that fucking thing. I just don't. And again, if there's going to be an angle at the end of that match and somebody New Japan centric jumps him, whatever. Okay, that would make it a little bit more, easier to swallow. But you're right there. Why not give the guy the fucking win? You know what I mean? There's no need to have.
He's ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, come on. We got it.
Match is going to be great.
There's no one in that promotion that has enough star power minus a Tanahashi, Okada, Naito that putting over someone means as much, right? And again, this is the opportunity to do it. So fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed, because if not, I got a strange feeling they're going with Mox at Wrestle Kingdom. And
well, it's not a strange feeling. I mean, all the signs are pointing that way.
Yeah.
Casey Dave says, am I reading too much into the Great Card Mox and Shota Ospreay matches leading to Mox Ospreay 2 at the Dome? So that brings us on to the next match to discuss, which is this singles match with Great O'Khan versus John Moxley, because you would imagine Mox is going to beat Great O'Khan, and if he's beating a United Empire guy, that would suggest that he is then going to face another United Empire guy. Now, it could be someone else. Maybe we're going to get a big Mox against Henare match at the Dome, or Mox versus Jeff Cobb, or Mox versus Callum Newman. However, that is the thing that's making me scared here. The fact that he's wrestling Great O'Khan, that's why there is a legitimate concern about Mox versus Ospreay. But, we've discussed that to death. How are you feeling about Mox versus Great O'Khan?
You laid it out exactly. The fears that you have are the fears that I have, right? Great O'Khan has done nothing to give you any glimmer of hope that he would get the win.
Well, what about him repeatedly talking up a title challenge against MJF? Give me percentage chance of Great O'Khan beating John Moxley at Power Struggle and then going on to challenge MJF for the AEW title at Wrestle Kingdom and losing, right? I'm not going to go crazy with this prediction, but odds of that happening. Great O'Khan versus MJF.
I mean, could you imagine MJF? I have to tell you.
Stick him in the comedy KOPW battle royal. We'll be right at home there.
Yeah, I would say that I can't imagine that happening. I can't imagine happening. But I mean, you would be spoon feeding him a guy that he can definitely get a win at Wrestle Kingdom again. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be no harm, no foul to anyone. I don't know. I don't see Mox getting pinned by Great O'Khan. I just don't see it. I mean, this screams O'Khan looking at the lights, right? I mean, it just screams it. But hey, listen, maybe this is all just a big fucking swerveroo, and we bite into it hook, line, and sinker, and we're all laughing at this come January 4th. I don't think that's going to happen, though.
Right, also on Power Struggle, we've got our singles match Tangaloa against David Finlay. So again, that's another one where New Japan usually don't put non-title singles matches on shows for no reason. It's usually the winner of that will end up challenging for something, which is why I'm looking at this thinking David Finlay's going to be challenging someone for something later on in the show, and it could very well be the winner of the main event. It could be Shota versus Finlay. Maybe it's Shota defending the UK-US title against Finlay at Wrestle Kingdom. That's a possibility. Finlay might win that. I don't know. But Tangaloa versus Finlay, that seems like a comfortable Finlay win, and then Finlay goes on to challenge for something.
Yep. I think you are 1,000% correct. Yes. That I think is happening. Yeah.
What do you think he's challenging for then?
Who's going to put me to sleep first? He's challenging for Never Doesn't Make Sense. There's nothing. I mean, maybe that he's upset that he lost it and he wants it back. Maybe. I doubt that to be the case, though. It feels like a loss to move up. So, I mean, you don't only have a couple choices, right? It's not going to be the world title, right? Obviously, because we got Naito and Sonata. Unless Finlay gets in there with a nice little three-way action.
But this is what makes this card quite intriguing, because I'm looking at Finlay and I'm looking at Mox, and I think one of them is challenging the winner of Shota versus Ospreay, and the other one feels like the odd man out. I don't know what they'd be doing. And as I've laid out, I think the most interesting option for Wrestle Kingdom is Shota going into that as US champion. But I think I would settle as a distant second, but still second, Ospreay versus Finlay. Maybe him finally giving Finlay that consensus match of the year candidate. That's everyone says, oh yeah, Finlay's actually quite good, and Finlay wins the title, and then get some rub from that, beating Ospreay at the Tokyo Dome. But way at the bottom is Ospreay Mox.
Here's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm afraid of with that. So again, it's Will Ospreay, and he's going to want to go out with a bang and make people remember, and because that's just the way he's cut. You're putting David Finlay in a spot to deliver. You all right?
I've just thought of something.
Uh-oh.
We know Ospreay is wrestling Gabe Kidd.
Yeah.
Who is Finlay's stablemate.
You don't think they would do that, do you?
Well, I'm saying Ospreay facing Kidd would feed into an Ospreay versus Finlay Wrestle Kingdom narrative, wouldn't it?
It would. Boy, it would. Yeah, you bring up an interesting point. Look, I think it's a no-brainer that in some way, shape, or form,
Ospreay Finlay, and then Shota Mox at Wrestle Kingdom.
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Mox is just a non-title match.
Yeah, I mean, to me, Shota and Mox is the interesting and intriguing match. If I wouldn't be surprised if we go that route, Finlay Ospreay. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
It's got to go 0-4 against Ospreay, and I don't like that. Okay, well, whatever. This is interesting. I'll give it that. There's a lot of uncertainty, and I will be excited going into Power Struggle. So for all my sort of grumbling, I'm into it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is dramatic for me.
You know what? You're right. Because it can easily be hand waved, but if you really want to get into the weeds, yeah, there's some interesting stuff there. Yes, I will concede that. So I won't jump off a fucking bridge if Shota doesn't get a 1, 2, 3 here, because what you proposed is not only A, well thought out, but B, very possible. Very possible. Everything that you laid out there, that scenario, Gabe Kidd, Will beating him, Finlay gets involved somehow. That's your match. Shota Mox. I'm into that. I'm into that. I would have not only no problem with that. I think that's a New Japan win, right? That to me, that's a situation where New Japan's coming out looking good, feeling good. Now, if Shota can get a fucking win over Mox, now we're talking. We'll see if that happens. But I will say this: what you did was you made Power Struggle that much more interesting to me, and B, it does add a little extra stakes. Like I will be watching intently, not only from I do a podcast and I need to get out my pen and paper and critique, but from a fan perspective, I'm into it now. I'm not even now. I'm into it more than I was. So
yeah,
they should hire you, dude.
Genuinely for Shota Ospreay. If Shota gets the win, I'm going to be like jumping off my sofa, like
right.
I'm watching Arsenal win a match. Because again, it's not because I dislike Will Ospreay. I think he's great. I think he's the best wrestler in the world. But just for all the reasons we've laid out, now there's a huge amount of emotional investment for both of us in seeing Shota Umino win this match. Which that's what you want being a pro wrestling fan, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. So maybe we're the fucking dummies and they had this all along. That would be great. I love being wrong on this. I would love it. It gives me no confidence. I don't have much confidence in what we laid out because every time we do this, Joel, and I say every time we do this, it never pans out. But that would be, let's put it this way. It's there for the taking. It's absolutely there for the taking. And I think that might be the most frustrating part about this whole thing is that it is there for the taking. And if they don't do it, you throw your hands in the fucking air and you're like, well, I mean, in 5 minutes off the top of our heads, we came up with a scenario that is 1,000 times better than what you're delivering here. So if we can figure it out, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they'll figure it out. And hopefully we go, any one of those scenarios would be perfect.
Morning Progress says, if Ospreay is leaving post Wrestle Kingdom but not losing the belt to Shota, who would better benefit from the rub of finally beating him for it at Wrestle Kingdom? One of New Japan's young guys, Uemura, Tsuji, Naruto, Great Okan, etc., or a junior heavyweight finally making the jump to heavy Hiromu Despi. Yeah, I feel I've covered that. I think, let's David Finlay, let's give him one more chance.
Yeah, this is it though. But yeah,
give him some proper opponents to work with. This is it. Yeah, last chance saloon for him. We also have Power Struggle Yuya Uemura and Sanada against Yota Tsuji and Tetsuya Naito. And Eric says, is that the most handsome matchup in the history of pro wrestling? Now, look, Yuya and Sanada, objectively gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yota Tsuji and Tetsuya Naito, I don't think they are... I mean, they're obviously very, very good looking, but...
Are they?
In terms of... Well, yeah, because they're, muscular and cool and sexy. But I don't think... They don't have the sort of classic... matinee good looks of Uemura and a Sanada. So, but what they do have is Riz, as the kids would say.
I'm sorry?
When Yota Tsuji came in as a young lion, he looked weird. He's got kind of like
he's got a big mouth. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
He's got a massive mouth. Yeah.
And, Naito's got the Wurzel Gummidge hair and the receding hairline.
Yeah.
But the fact they've got so much Riz that Eric thinks this could be the most handsome matchup in the history of pro wrestling. I don't think it is.
Are you saying jizz or what are you saying?
Riz.
Riz. What is that?
Yeah. I don't know. It's a slang term
Why are you
for
saying
skill. It's a slang term for skill in charming or seducing a potential romantic partner, especially through verbal communication.
Okay, so he's got a charm.
Typically used the exact same way as the older slang term game.
Yeah, okay, he's got game. Okay, I'm with you. All right. Yeah. Riz, huh? I don't like Riz.
We got the Riz.
He's got Rizzo from Greece. Got it? You stretch that one out. How you stink?
I don't have a huge amount to say about this.
Yeah.
Hopefully it will get me excited for Wrestle Kingdom match, which I want to be excited by. I'll give them a chance. But now I suppose it makes things a little bit uncertain because I thought Shingo and Tsuji would be nailed on for World Tag League participation, but now Shingo is a never champion.
That's right.
I don't know if he will take part in World Tag League.
Sure.
So again, what does that leave Tsuji to do? I don't know.
No. Put them together. You're fine with that. Tsuji's going to lie down a lot, but yeah. And I don't know if you want that, but
no, I don't want that.
I don't want it either. But again, what these
would they be setting something up like a Uemura and Tsuji singles program here?
Yeah, or whoever.
Too early for that?
Yeah, or whoever Shingo title defense when he gets past Trent Beretta of all people.
Well, he loses to Trent, and then that frees him up for World Tag League.
Yes, yeah. Tony Khan, TK. I can't. But yeah, that's World Tag League helps set up those little programs. So I think we'll see them in Tag League. Yeah, I don't have a problem with
that. We also have the Never Openweight 6-man Tag Team Championship match with Tomohiro Ishii, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Kazuchika Okada defending against the challenger team from TMDK, Shane Hayes, Mikey Nichols, Zack Sabre Jr. So NBTL OUFC says who's next to hold the Never 6-man title. So as we get closer and closer to Wrestle Kingdom, and we suspect that Okada will be in a singles match. We've got another question about that, actually. If there's Multiverse Aces, if Danielson can't wrestle Okada at Wrestle Kingdom, who do you want to see Rainmaker face? I mean, maybe it's Claudio Castagnoli. I don't know. But
that match is doomed.
Here.
That match is cursed.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's one of those matches that is just fucking cursed. What was wrong with Bryan Danielson? What was it? Shoulder?
I think he broke his orbital bone against Andrade or something. But anyway, I digress. Do you think TMDK win the Never Six-Man titles? Like, do we need to get them off this Ishii, Tanahashi, Okada team before Wrestle Kingdom?
Yes, we do. Because I think it would be a sin to have him not in a singles match. Tanahashi, it would be, but we all know the situation there. And even to a certain degree, Ishii. So, okay, I guess the big challenge is, okay, so if we do get the titles off of them, then what do we do with the other guys? I would.
And if it's this TMDK team, like Zach already holds the TV title,
right? So
then,
well, that's the problem. Is that this is exactly why there's too many fucking belts. There's too many titles. You know what I mean?
I mean, typically they've not really defended these 6-man titles at Wrestle Kingdom in recent history. I know they always used to do the Never 6-man gauntlet match, which I quite liked. You know, that was a way of cramming everyone onto the show. But I think it's been a while since they've done that, so I don't think necessarily holding these titles means you are going to be defending them at Tokyo Dome.
Good point.
That doesn't preclude Zach from winning here, so they could very well win. It would be nice to see Shane and Mikey get some titles.
Oh, gold.
They seem perennial bridesmaids.
I don't see it. Do you see it?
No, I really like the Ishii, Tanahashi, Okada team. I think there's more juice in that.
Me too. But I think I don't know who you put in the ring with Okada. Unfortunately, I think you almost have to. How about this? Is this crazy? How about Okada Zach?
Is it? Am I dreaming this up? Did Ishii say he's going to challenge for the TV title, or Zach invited Ishii to challenge?
I mean, he might.
I have a feeling that happened.
Maybe. I mean, either one of those two, I think, would be more than fine. I kind of like the idea of Okada a little bit. Okada Zach. I mean, I don't know if the fucking TV title's beneath him, but imagine him in like little 15-minute sprints.
What, the Dome?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think the direction for Okada, they're clearly trying to get the Danielson match. And
well, okay, that ain't happening, right?
Mox, maybe? Okada Mox?
Oh, come on. Really? No. I don't want to see it. That's a waste. To me, that's a waste. I just think there's two completely different styles. I'm not feeling it. How about Kenny?
Okada Kenny for the Dome?
Yeah.
They could do, I suppose.
I would do that.
I feel that's a match that they might want to save for a big US show.
Come on.
That would sell a lot of tickets.
We need stuff in the Dome here. How many? They've wrestled what?
I've heard the tickets are selling quite well for Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, I know. Look, the doors are open. I mean, people are allowed to get there. And I know there's probably a ton of first timers, right? That are going to do, that have been waiting a long time to get there. I'm sure. I'm curious as to what the count is in their matches. Like, is it like 3-2 or 2-2 or I don't know. I wonder what that is. I think that's still a marquee money match. Kenny and
Okada and Kenny.
Yeah.
It's 2 wins for Kenny, 1 win for Okada, and a draw.
Oh, and a draw. All right. I mean, what do you say?
I can't see it, but I think it would be a very serviceable a co-main event.
Yeah.
The Tokyo Dome.
I saw somebody suggest Never 6-man Ishii, Tanahashi, Okada against Kenny and the Bucks.
That might have been me.
Was that you?
It might have been. I like that. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah? All right. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I think the match would be fucking spectacular, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's curious. We don't have that long to go. It's November fucking 2nd. A lot of questions, a lot of stuff in the air. I think things will start getting interesting real soon.
I've talked myself into being more excited for it now.
Me too.
Right, we've got one more match for Power Struggle that's been announced to preview, and that is the Junior Heavyweight Championship match with Hiromu defending against Taiji Ishimori, which is a match that I think is easy to hand with because we've seen it a lot, but the ceiling on that match is extremely high. Like, that's match of the year caliber stuff. And they've had several in the past that have been outstanding.
Uh-huh.
So I don't want to dismiss this one. I know it's not the most exciting match, but I think Ishimori's got a point to prove. I don't necessarily think he's going to win. I don't think he will win. But Hiromu, I think, is having a really great year. Like, this title reign, the discourse about it has become occupied with, is he going to break the record, rather than these matches are fantastic.
Right.
And I feel that's a little bit unfair on Hiromu. And I think this is going to be another feather in his cap for sort of having a quiet case for not necessarily being Wrestler of the Year, but certainly Junior of the Year, and certainly it being in for a shout at possibly top 5 for New Japan Singles Wrestler of the Year.
Yeah.
In terms of Wrestle Kingdom programs, I don't know. Like, maybe Mike Bailey, they might finally have the singles match there. But I think this is going to be Hiromu retaining, but I think it's going to be a lot better than a lot of people think it will be.
I do too. I hope. Let's put it this way: you mentioned the ceiling, and the ceiling is definitely high, right? It has the potential of being one of, if not the match of the night. It also has the potential of being very, as the kids would say, not Riz, but mid, right? It does have that potential, which does have me a little bit concerned. And that's like, he's just like this weird thing with Ishimori where you don't know what you're going to get. Now, singles matches, big spotlight against an opponent that he's worked many times. Hiromu, who's having again an outstanding year as well. I think I would tend to lean toward this being great, right? More great than good. And if it is in the great realm, we're going through this show. This is a fucking juicy show.
We're so back.
Yeah, we're back. Right? My medication kicked in.
The needle has swung to we're so back.
We're so back. But it does have this. Like, if they have a great match, this could be a really fucking outstanding show. Yeah, I think it's Takahashi winning, continuing the streak, and then I guess the question is raised. Yeah, what do they do at the Dome? Do they have a special challenger? What would that look like? Who would that be? Can I ask you a question? And it is off the beaten path a little bit, but I read somewhere that things seem to be somewhat patched up between New Japan Pro Wrestling and one Kota Ibushi. Would you take a chance on him?
I know you don't watch AW. Have you seen him wrestle recently?
Yeah, I saw him in that clusterfuck. Yeah, he looked a little off, but I'm sure he has plenty of ring rust. But he didn't look good, did he?
No.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards, I think we've seen the best of him. I don't think he is going to get close to being the wrestler that he was at his peak for New Japan. So that doesn't interest me personally. Sorry.
All right. What about his mom? You want to bring his mom in?
I've got nothing but great things to say
about Kota Ibushi.
My experiences. Yeah, she's a lovely lady.
Sounds like it. She sounds like a real sweetie. I bet you she makes a good fucking tonkatsu. Right?
Yes.
I bet.
She's got a secret recipe for tonkatsu sauce. And she won't tell anyone. She's got some secret ingredients she puts in it, which elevates it above all other tonkatsu sauces.
Reminds me of that Simpsons episode with the sawdust. Do I taste cinnamon? I'll never tell. All right. Are we done? Can I go watch some fucking Maple Leafs hockey? Talk to my wife.
Yeah, we're done.
All right.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
That's it. That's how we're closing. All right,
No, we're dropping the.
Oh yeah, we are.
The plugs.
All right, do it on the count of 3. Do it on the count of 3. Ready? Go. 1, 2.
Oh, sorry. The count of 3.
I gotta count it down. Ready? I'm gonna count down, then you say goodbye. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Goodbye.
Hola, my name is Ricardo. I am the host of the Lucha Jovers podcast here in the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network. We are a Spanish-speaking show dedicated to discussing and analyzing pro wrestling from all across the world. From AEW to CMLL, we talk about American wrestling, Japanese wrestling, and of course, Lucha Libre. If something big happened in the pro wrestling world, we will talk about it. So if you know Spanish or have a friend that knows Spanish or want to practice your Lucha Libre pronunciations, go listen to the Lucha Jovers podcast right here in the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network. Nos vemos por ahí.